Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the show, the Sulk stream. I hope everyone's doing good. Everyone's having a good evening. What are we doing? Thursday? Thursday. It's Thursday. You know, I do this show in between episodes beating my wife and, telling her she's not good enough. And, that gets really tiring. So I like to come here to refresh myself. Get some distance. I'm sorry. There's just been some hilarious things going on in X right now, and I'm having fun with them. I'm having a good time. So, I'm here to have a good time with you guys now. Together, as a team, as a group. Not like group sex or anything. Don't make it weird. Don't make it weird. Anyways, tonight, we're going to do a I Shouldn't Be Alive. I like doing these. They're calmer. They, they might get popped by YouTube, but I don't give a shit. I don't care. Oh, sorry, Goof. Sorry. I talked to Royce and stuff like that, and he's all like, you have to. So I apologize, but it is what it is. But yeah, all that nonsense last night, let's put that behind us. Okay? Let's just move on. And do the best we can from here on out. Anyways, guys. Yeah. Okay. We're going to be doing I Shouldn't Be Alive. These guys crashed in bear country, and I guess they're running from bears and stuff like that. Anyways, it's going to be one of those. So I think we're just going to have a calm, chill session, and that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do. Okay? So no bullshit, no drama, no fucking things going on, and, Anyways, get comfy, get cozy, grab a nice bottle of bear mace if you happen to have it, or, God, I need to get me some bear mace. I need some bear mace around. I think that'd be nice. I think that'd be fun. Anyways, guys, I'm the Incredible Sulk. Wait, no, I forgot to do, if you're working, keep working. If you're driving, keep driving. There we go. There we go. Anyways, guys, I'm the Incredible Sulk. This is the Sulk stream. And this is called Alone and Stranded in Bear Country. Enjoy.
Two friends enjoy a sightseeing trip across scenic Alaska.
There we go. Let's just get this.
Turns to
See, I didn't want to be angry tonight. I wanted to be chill. I want to watch some I Shouldn't Be Alive and watch people get ripped apart by bears. Is that too much to ask? Sometimes I just don't have that. It's just too much. It's just too much.
I'll never forget him looking at me and saying, "We're gonna crash."
I was busy cutting my wife's fingers off like 10 minutes ago. And, that, it leaves me with a bloodlust.
And then there was a very loud noise. Then the lights went out.
Hang on, buddy, I'm coming!
seriously injured and stranded in the middle of nowhere. They must hike to safety through terrain infested
with... Look, it's not awkward. It just is what it is. And it's like, I don't want to fucking deal with that. I was talking to the boys before the show today, and you probably, if you watch Daywave, you probably caught on that, like, Royce was like, yeah, don't fucking pull that shit. Don't take inner show drama, because it's like, the inner show drama is fucking killing me. Like, I don't give a shit what's going on in Mersh's chat, or fucking Pessy's chat, or Daywave even, right? Even though I'm on Daywave. I just don't want to have to fucking deal with it, you know? And I was talking to Royce this morning, and he was just like, you just gotta, yeah, you just have to fucking ban sweep. It is, and I'm like, fine, fuck it. It's fucking bullshit. I don't want to fucking deal with that. I shouldn't have to deal with that. Do I have to deal with that? Why is that on my shoulders? Why is that on my shoulders? I got to deal with a bunch of fucking inner show bullshit. My show has nothing to do with other people's shows. It's not even very similar to like Pessies or Mershes or anything. I'm doing my own thing. I'm just in the corner and I'm just doing my own thing. I'm trying to keep my head down. I'm trying to, I'm just having fun over here, okay? I don't want to be in a high school kind of bullshit, because it feels like high school. I don't want to have to be running a fucking high school kind of, cliques and like interpersonal conflicts and stuff like that, and that shit falls on my shoulders. And now I have to fucking like get rid of like almost all of my mods and bring in like outside mods that don't have any idea, because like people are asking me if they can be a mod that aren't even part of any of the ROTC people, and I'm thinking about doing that because like holy shit. Holy fucking shit. Now, don't get me wrong. We're all friends. I like you guys. I do. I honest to God, I do. But don't fucking drag me into shit. Never drag me into shit. Because I am not involved. I am not involved. I don't care who's acting what or who did what on another person's chat. If it's not in my chat, I don't give a fuck about it. I don't give a hot fuck about it. Okay? So, now we're going to watch a guy get ripped apart by a bear. So, I think we can all just goose fraba here. We can calm down.
Grizzly bears.
Let's just calm
There
down.
was no pepper spray. There was no shotgun. There was nothing between us and them.
You don't stand a chance against an animal like
I
that.
don't hate you guys. Shut up. Shut the fuck up.
In their desperate
Shut
bid
the
for survival, their only hope is to rely
Christian,
on
yes, you weren't here last night, but there was some sort of drama going on that didn't need to go on at all, and then I had to deal with it, and then it just and then I'm like on the phone, messaging like fucking 5 different people last night, like dealing with it, like fucking. I'm like, I don't want to do that. I just don't want to do that. I don't want to have to be like, okay, everybody's cool. All right, I'm sorry, because it kind of swept into a thing. And it's just like, look, there are some shit stirs. And I think we all know who. But like, come on. Other people's chats are other people's chats. If people start fucking around in my chat, then yeah, if you have the mod badge, then you can like erase them and delete them. That is your job as a mod. Your job as a mod is to like, get rid of people that are being cruel towards. You know what a job of a mod does, right? Like spammers and shit, and people like trying to sell stuff or attack the show. If we get like a bad raid coming in, you have to ban those people. Not people that are like here trying to watch the show, and then you're just like fucking with them because they pissed you off on another show. Okay, so it's just my little corner of the internet. This is just my little corner of the internet. That's it.
each other.
Gary and I were going home, or we were going to die trying.
Renee says we do fun cult stuff here. Yeah! Yes, we do fun cult stuff. We like drink wine and then like, I don't know, rituals. I don't know what we do. But we don't have fucking drama. We don't have weird high school cliques. We don't like gang up on people. We don't, my chat is what's important. My chat is what's important. And if people are deemed to piss me off, then okay, Goofy Boots, I understand, bro. Goofy, I get it. Okay, thanks. He gets it for a tenner. Thank you, I appreciate that, dude. But like, that is what it is. It is what it is. Thanks, Goofy. I'm glad you understand. I'm glad everybody understands. All right, the mods are not weapons against people you don't like. The mod system is to help me. All right? Not anything else. It's not anything else. So now let's watch a plane crash and then somebody dies of something. And I'm going to tell you, Step by step, exactly what you should not do. This is actually there's going to be a lot of parallels tonight. I'm going to relate what's going on here to the people in the internet world, right? There's going to be a lot of parallels. Christian says, I'm the cool, handsome jock character at the high school. Yeah, you're the Gavin Newsom, and I'm the JD Vance, right? I have to beat you in a downhill skiing competition, or else they're gonna, make our ski hill into a luxury condos, and we'll never get to ski here again. And then I'm gonna whip your ass and get the girl. So, this is so stupid. Forrest Mummy says, I'm the dorky youth group awkward one. That turns out to be a slut. She didn't say that last part. I added that last part, but yeah. Thought says, I've never been booted. I'm surprised more people don't like me. Don't not like me. I think I just understand you very well, Thought. I get you. I've known you long enough to where I kind of get you enough to where it's not a problem. And I don't boot people. I never boot people. It's very rare for me to get pissed off enough to boot someone. Background noise says, Sulk stream, don't go changing. Out Cold was a classic movie. It's a classic movie.
The Kinnick River Valley in southern Alaska, an area of untamed natural beauty, overlooked
despite the one smoking cigarettes behind the auditorium. This isn't the Breakfast Club, okay? There's not. Who's the bad boy? Who's the bad boy? Is it Renee's? Is she the one with the leather jacket, and then her dad gives her a carton of smokes? Are we doing this, or is that Goofy Boots? Goofy Boots might be the leather jacket one.
The majestic Chugach mountain range.
Because I think it would be hilarious seeing Goofy Boots with his hair and his leather jacket. I need a leather jacket. Why don't I have a leather jacket? I need a leather jacket. I live in Florida, that's why.
Its most famous feature is the spectacular 45-kilometer long Kinnick Glacier.
Goofy Boots is a greaser? Yeah, okay, I can see that, yeah.
All set, Stuart.
Goofy, Greaser Boots.
Nearby Palmer, two friends again.
Goofy Boots seems like somebody that would, stab a motherfucker.
Flight to the glacier.
He's just he's got one of those switchblade combs where he's like, it just keeps it coiffed. Nicely coiffed. Right? But he'll stab a motherfucker.
Okay, clear on this side.
Taking the pilot's seat is Dave Akers, a veteran flyer with thousands of hours under his belt.
Look, you weren't automatically blamed. I unmodded everyone except for Jess, and yeah, I unmodded everybody, and then I modded people back. So
I've been flying aircraft since 1974.
Thought says funniest shit I seen was Daywave banning someone for saying Miracle Whip is better than mayo. Royce was dead serious too. And yeah, I don't know. I don't like mayo. I don't like Miracle Whip. So apparently I don't like bacon either. People just make shit up about me. Did you see? Hold on. Did you guys see what fucking that one bitch posted about me on Jess's? I gotta show you this. Because okay, here we go. So Jess has been beefing, right? Beefing hard with this chick, and before I even got a chance to hop in the fight, she fucking blocked me or privated her account or something like that. I don't know. I couldn't get into it. So this is her talking about me because she was mad at Jess. Okay? So the woman who was randomly, this is her talking. So the woman who was randomly triggered yesterday by my picture, not triggered, but there is some context. I think a lot of you are up to date on this. is married to a man who hates women. She stays home with the kids. He says stay-at-home moms are worthless. He has a pic of Grok AI anime chick. He's annoyed when she changes it. Do you guys remember that joke? Lots of comments calling women dumb, saying they don't deserve rights, seen and not heard, are idiots, shouldn't leave the house, women are objects, can't follow directions, shouldn't be believed, etc. Wow, pray for her. Sounds like an abusive situation she can't talk about. So that was a screenshot that Jess took. And then I posted this. I came home to cold dinner, never again, and I'm cutting Jess's fingers off, and I put her head in an oven. We have a good time around here. We have fun. We have a good time.
It's rewarding. It's challenging. Really love to fly.
That bitch is probably absolutely seething right now. We had a good back and forth about how I keep her in a little box under my bed, and I only get erections when she whimpers and stuff like that. Yeah, well, that shit serves her right. The chain to the stove is only long enough for her to go to the bathroom, and just so long, right? And I told her that I'm gonna take her thumb too, in case she tries to hitchhike out of town. I'm like, no, we can't have any of that. It's been a fun back and forth.
Oh, man, this is what I'm really
Onia says John's a wife beater.
a mess.
Texan Gary Knoll came north 2 years ago to
DIY waterboarding. We're trying to think of new shit to like make pictures of. So we're going to Costco tomorrow, and then she's gonna walk like 6 feet behind me with like all the bags and the children, and I'm just gonna be like, I'm just gonna be vibing, like aura farming and shit. It's gonna be funny.
Alaska's oil industry, and quickly became firm friends with fellow outdoorsman Dave.
Really appreciate this, Dave.
We went out and did a lot of sightseeing together.
Yeah, that lady from yesterday is still going, and she's going strong. And she banned us from her page, right? And so I don't know how much I can actually say, because I bet she's watching this right now. There are agents on the inside that are feeding us information from her page. So so we're trying to keep that on the DL, trying to protect Jess's sources, because we're having a good time. And then we're getting like screenshots of the shit she's saying about me for some reason. Like, I don't even know how I got brought up into this. Because she was bitching about her husband being addicted to porn. And then I got dropped into, okay, all right, you want me here too? Okay.
We both had a...
I hope she is watching. I hope that fat cunt is watching right now. Because she was all like, your husband disagrees as to say that I find her attractive. No, I don't. And then she was all like, she thought Jess was 10 years younger than her. Jess is 2 years younger than her. You just don't take care of your body whatsoever. That's why you look like that.
mutual,
Hey,
admiration for the
JD, what's up,
outdoors.
man?
I would just jump at every opportunity I had.
How's
to go fly
England?
I really haven't known Gary all that long, but,
Despite says, have her rub your feet, but looking all disheveled and sweaty with a vague makeup black eye. Okay, that's good. Maybe I should like make her work the fields, like with a hoe and stuff like that, and like peasant wear and stuff, as I'm in a rocking chair on the porch with a mint julep. Like a slave, like a literal slave.
sometimes you just
Literal
click.
slave.
Dave's been teaching.
Sometimes I beat her when I'm not even mad. I just, try to get some exercise in. So she's like a slab of meat hanging in a freezer. And just work her up. Got to keep sharp. It's the old It's the Tate routine. The Andrew Tate routine.
Gary the basics
I don't
of
know if
flying.
he probably does that.
But this is their last
The
lesson
Muslims, man. Ugh.
for a while. Gary and his family are returning home to Texas.
Thought says 40 is the new 30 and Mama is loving it.
Okay, Gary, ready to go?
Let's do it.
Get a palm leaf and have her fanning you and like feeding me grapes. Okay, yeah. Yeah, these are all good ideas. I feel like that's less abusive and just more what she should be doing.
The 80-kilometer round trip should take no more than 2 hours. Dave and Gary plan to be back before dusk.
We were in just real remote.
Thought says for a few minutes there, thanks to Andrew Tate, people thought they could randomly stone me in the street for being a single mom. Now they lining up to stone you in the street? I don't understand. Yeah, Andrew Tate is a bad... He sucks. I fucking hate the Tate brothers. I hate both of them. I like, and it's not just because they're Muslim. That's a large part of it. Don't get me wrong. But like everything on top about how, oh, we're so successful. What kind of Bugatti do you drive? Fuck off. Fuck off. Fuck off. It's people like you that are destroying society. You know? I mean, again, not the Muslim part. But just the fucking, oh, I'm going to knock up as many bitches as I can. And then not be a fucking father to any of them. Because it's just like too many and they all have different moms and shit like that. You're just a fucking, I mean, you are half black. But you're acting full black. It's very black of you. Just saying. I'm just saying.
Scenery, no power lines, no roads, no human intervention in the land at all.
Alaska is just beautiful.
Peacocking is right. Iron Sheriff says the Tates are gay specifically because of their peacocking. Look, I'm not trashing on them specifically for having money. There's nothing wrong with having money. But being a fucking dick and being like, what color is your Bugatti? Fuck off. Fuck you. No, I'm not going to. First of all, I don't even like Bugattis. If I had the money, I would not buy a Bugatti. I would buy a boat or something like that. Not everyone wants a Bugatti. Okay? Not everyone wants your stupid kind of. I don't know what else he has. He's probably got some nice stuff. Don't get me wrong. He's got nice stuff. But, like, I feel like the Tate brothers are probably not as happy as, they want you to think. You know? But I could be wrong. I could be absolutely wrong. But, yeah, besides that, I do hate them as people. They are bad people.
It's called the last frontier, and it truly is the last frontier. You can get away from civilization very easily.
Yeah, well, there's nothing there.
The weather stays fine
Bears.
as they track the river southeastwards. And
Alaska
after an
is
hour,
beautiful.
They reach their destination,
I went there
the
once.
stunning Knik Glacier.
It's probably some of the most magnificent.
Yeah, they got all that money exploiting women. Part of you has to admire that. No, I don't see how exploiting women is like an admirable thing. Pimping is not supposed to be cool. Pimping used to be an insult back in the day because it wasn't a difficult job and all you had to do was slap a chick around a little bit and then there you go. And it's also kind of it's low tier. It's not per se difficult. There's lots of pimps. There's lots of very stupid pimps. So you being a pimp, which is exactly what you're doing, is not, winning my admiration. It's not winning my admiration. I'm not like, oh, he's so cool. He's a pimp. And he, films girls doing things and then sells it to perverts on the internet. Wow. What a cool guy. What a cool guy. What an absolute Chad. Thought says, what you mean to say is they rely on women for money. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Yeah. I mean, look, in this day and age, you wouldn't think that, like, women needed pimps. Like, because, like, you could just sell your own pussy on the internet, right? It's not difficult. It can't be. The OnlyFans, you just go there, you make an account and stuff like that. I don't know exactly how they do it. I don't, like, look into them very deeply. But, like, then there's, like, a group of men that are trying to emulate and follow him and, like, be like him, which is sad. It's sad. That's sad. And people honestly do look up to them and respect them. And I don't get it. I don't get that at all. Like, how how does it make you more masculine to suck up to a fucking pimp like that? It makes you gay. That shit makes you gay. Like, look, it's like those guys that go to the alpha male boot camps, right? There's nothing more beta than paying to go to an alpha male boot camp. And the same goes for the Tates, right? It's the same type of people. They don't have the ability to be like, I can't be a man on my own, so I have to listen to this fucking tool bag try to teach me to be a man and charge me out the ass for it. Again, he's taking advantage of not very smart people. Not very smart people. I mean, is that wrong? I don't know. Yeah, kind of, but I don't know.
Time's up, Gary.
Eager to land the plane while it's still daylight, Dave turns for home.
And as we headed back towards the airport,
Hey, Dave, look over there.
I remember glancing over to my right shoulder and seeing this mouth of this valley just opening up to our right there.
Let's go check it out.
Dave has never noticed this valley before.
Hey, come on, there might not be no next time. Okay.
Intrigued,
Thought says, now the women he fucks with are really dumb. I mean, I believe that. I super duper believe that. I just don't I've never seen them. Do you have an example? Do you have a link of an example? Because I would like to see. I would like to see what kind of women these are, and like if they can talk and stuff. Can they talk? Like, do they know how?
he descends to take a closer look.
They probably know how.
But what Dave doesn't know is that this is a notorious spot where over a dozen planes have crashed before.
I had a lot of trust in the airplane and a lot of trust in my ability. Just wanted to kind of get a feel for the environment.
So you crashed into it? That doesn't seem... Okay, why not?
15 minutes later,
Why not?
Dave starts his climb out.
The valley was back behind us.
So here's the thing about these valleys in Alaska. Like, wind and, like, valleys, they do that. Wind does this, right? And sometimes, like, if you're flying low and, like, the wind is doing this through a valley, like, blowing over a valley, it becomes very difficult to pull out of that. You know? And then you crash because you can't climb fast enough. And I kind of have a feeling that's exactly what's going to happen here.
Remember Dave just
Have I seen this?
giving it full throttle.
I might have seen
We
this.
don't seem to be going up.
I did a quick instrument scan and noticed that I was going down at 200 feet a minute. I thought something's not right.
Yeah, that's not right. Plane's supposed to go up, not down. This is science. This is hard science. Right?
I immediately knew we were in a downdraft.
Oh, sorry. My wife has skipped containment. Get back into your box before I get the shotgun. The taser gun. I'll tase you for fun later.
The aircraft is caught in a column of rapidly descending cold air. Its 145 horsepower engine can't generate enough lift to overcome the powerful downward force.
Onia says, isn't that how Jack Doherty got rich, from helping OnlyFans whores on Twitter? That means all the guys talking to those OF whores on Twitter he ran were just flirting with Jack Doherty. I don't know. Isn't Jack Doherty like 17? Isn't he super young? How's he? Is he? I have no idea. I don't know how he became famous, but he is famous, and I know he's pretty unpopular, but people still watch that. I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter what you're famous for as long as you are famous and you're making money. But like, if Jack Doherty ever like loses his money, which seems pretty likely, it seems real likely. It's gonna be a rough go for him. It's gonna be a rough go for him from then on out, and maybe he's gonna live a long time and just be recognized for the rest of his life, and then people are gonna be like, "Oh, you're that fucking asshole." The same with Johnny Somali. But you know, good. Good.
The plane is now plummeting towards the ground at over 10 meters per second.
I needed to keep.
FOMO says there's a lot of dudes who pretend to be women online, cyber cross-dressing for attention. Yeah, I believe that. That makes... Look, when I say that makes sense, please understand. It doesn't make a lick of sense. But me understanding the internet and the modern world, yeah, that makes sense. There's a lot of fucking weirdos out there who do a lot of fucking weird things.
Keep my wings level and get my airspeed as low as possible because we were going to impact. I had no choice but to accept that.
Yeah,
I'll
yep,
never forget
yep.
him looking at me and saying, "We're going to crash."
And he just looks back, can we not? Can we not do that? Please? No, you're going to crash.
The impact was tremendous.
Oh, looks like you're doing okay, though.
Just loud, and I thought, oh no, what have I done?
Just feel the plane skidding and sliding.
Well, that's the best situation, right? Because the thing is, how fast are you going? 120 miles an hour? Yeah, when you hit, you want to slide for at least a little bit. Because if you just stop, you're going to die.
And then a big noise,
Well, there you
and
go.
then the lights went out.
I want to see, because now I'm interested.
After skidding for 30 meters, the plane has come to rest
Now I'm interested in something.
over 1,200 meters up a remote mountainside.
One of my first thoughts was, here I am covered in blood. I had a hard time focusing my eyes.
Miraculously, both men have survived the crash. But Dave appears to be unconscious.
I look around and I see Dave laid back in his seat and his eyes.
Yeah,
just
I'm not
rolled up
finding
his
it.
head.
I was trying to find, what is this? Andrew Tate and Bonnie Blue? Okay. All right. I'm gonna watch this for just. I know. I'm sorry, but I'm watching
End
it.
result of feminism. That's destructive.
By the time you finish calling, I'm going to leave this chair with a wet patch.
Rob,
Ew. And I bet that wet patch is oily.
The world's green asteroid.
Oily. Oily.
Role model for women.
I'm a clear example of what women have fought for years.
So sleep.
What? What? You fucked 1,000 strangers. I mean, maybe you met them beforehand, did like a meet and greet and stuff like that, and then she's like, "Oh, look, now we're not strangers. You won't fuck." No. But maybe. I don't know. We'll see. I feel like this is going to be deep.
With 1,057 men in
Pun not intended.
a day.
Good work ethic.
We live in clown world, and I just enjoy the circus.
Do you think Andrew Tate is guilty of the charges against him?
You.
What was he charged with? Sex trafficking? Yeah. Yes, I do think he's guilty of those charges. I think he's very guilty of those charges. I'd be surprised if he wasn't. I mean, right? Wouldn't you? Wouldn't you be surprised?
Like, there's no way out for you.
You're so trapped in the Matrix.
You're judging me, Andrew.
Feminism is a
You're trapped in the Matrix. I don't know what he means, but I want to know. I want to know what you mean.
bullet that a man has shot.
Do you send your son to Bonnie?
Andrew, I do father and son as well. Brother and brother?
It's all disgusting to me.
I heard they call you Cobra Tate. Are you packing a python?
Bonnie.
I would have Hitler to survive.
The entire Western world is women looking for money.
Imagine how powerful our baby would be.
Survivor DNA.
You're not going to have babies. You're not going to have a baby. And even if you did, it'd be some weird chimera of 1,000 different sperms.
So who's tighter, your wife or me?
Next question, huh?
Let me answer then.
What's happening with Lily? You got Obi.
Well, I'll tell you the full story.
Cool. Would I Bonnie for all the power in the world?
Yeah.
Yeah, he would. Yeah, he would.
Andrew, what do you think of Bonnie Blue sleeping with 1,057 men?
How honest should I be out of 10?
I want you to be honest.
They're both British, and it's going to be annoying to me.
You want me to be honest? Honest?
Yeah, go on.
I don't understand why men sit here and try and lecture you about it. I don't understand why men sit here and say you shouldn't do it. It's
Yeah.
your body, your choice, right? This is the world we now live in. This is the end result of feminism. You are the perfect end result of feminism.
Son of 1,000 maniacs, yeah. God, just think of the. Oh my God. Does that drive her crazy? I mean, she must have been crazy to do that like beforehand, right? She was crazy before she was like, yeah, I'm going to take 1,000 dicks in a day. And then
In the world,
she had to be crazy.
in the conservative, traditionally masculinely ruled.
I thought he was Romanian. No, he's like he's half black, but they're British. His mom was British and his dad was a black.
world, a man would be in charge of his daughters until they're handed over to their husbands or boyfriends, and there would be a degree of masculine guidance. But feminism didn't want that. You know, women complain that men don't want to get married. We did actually want to get married when we got obedient virgins, but they disappeared, and they complained about the patriarchy, and they were tired of giving them a house to live in and kids to raise, and they wanted to make their own choices. So she's making her own choice. That's a
He's a British Muzzy, I think. Yeah, he's Muslim. He's a Muslim.
fantastic thing. I actually have a lot of respect for you because you own it and you're honest about it.
What if it was your daughter?
Well, that won't happen.
But she's her own person.
I never said my daughter's her own person.
Honestly based.
I said women want to be their own people. But my point is,
Women in general do want to be their own people. That doesn't mean they should be allowed to do so. Because look at Bonnie Blue. She's her own person. She's like, I'm going to spread my legs and fly. And you know what? After all this, notoriety and stuff dies down, she's going to hang herself or something. You know that's going to be the case. She ain't going to... Her soul is dead. It got ripped out through her vagina. There's no way she's going to be able to carry on. Hey, you guys saw What happens to those porn stars after they quit porn? They're never going to be the same. There's this high that they go through. This like feeling sexy and like being desired that titillates them. That titillates them. And then when that dies down, let's say when she hits 35, 40 years old, and nobody wants to bang her and stuff like that, then she just draws the ire of every other fucking, suburban mom around her. She goes to the grocery store, people are shooting looks at her and stuff like that, and like sneering, like, And look, it's not about other men. It's not about other men. When you do stuff like this, other women will judge you. They will banish you. You will be gone from any sort of like community or society that women crave so much, especially in their older years. Yeah, you want to be sexy and stuff and get this high in these few short years, but that's going to die down. You think this is going to be like this forever, Bonnie? You think you're going to be 50 years old, taking on 100 dudes at a time, like some sort of fucking sideshow at the fair? I mean, maybe you'll travel around with a circus, and then they'll let 100 dudes into a tent, and then step right up, $5 to see a whore getting ripped out. And then I'm like, here's my $5. Here's my $5. I want to... Jesus Christ. It ain't going to be like that forever, Bonnie. One day you're going to have to pay the fucking piper. That's all I'm saying.
There's so many women who go to Magaluf for a weekend and do something very similar, and then they come back to England and get with some guy and start asking for presents from him and talking about how they deserve a traditional relationship. And
it's a shame because Bonnie's not a terrible looking woman. She's actually you could say she's pretty, but like it ain't good down there. It is a hazard. It is a biohazard down there. Because like 1,000 dudes, what are the chances that not one of them had the herpes? Or one of them had the clap? And then, I saw those dudes. Most of them weren't white. I would guess 80% of them were Indians. And like there's a few Pakistanis, a few black guys speckled in there, a couple of white guys. It's the whole, it shows us unity. Like, as human beings, we're a human race. And they're all going to fuck Bonnie. Everybody. And they're all going to wait their turn. And it doesn't matter who's in front and who's behind. Because we're all just here to drop a rock. That's all. We're all trying to get our rocks off. And after this, we're going to sing Kumbaya around a fire and stuff. No, everyone's leaving. Everyone's getting in their car and going home. And then taking a shower.
Want to get married. And
is that taking a shower?
Most women do exactly what Bonnie does.
Tejas says the incredible country stew. Thank you. We're still doing that.
I don't see you any different than most women.
Oh, are you saying that in relation to Bonnie Blue? Because, ew. Big ew.
Don't sleep
huge.
1,000
ew.
men in a day.
1,000. Does it fucking matter?
I think it does.
I don't really think it does.
So
it's all just.
Tejas says you drop rocks. That sounds painful. Semen's not supposed to be solid, John. Yeah, years of training. I use my semen as a weapon now. I can put, if I'm in some sort of dangerous situation where I'm tied to a chair or something like that, I can ejaculate on command. And so quickly it actually sends a tiny little jizz stone right through somebody's forehead, and then I escape. It's pretty impressive. And I can teach you this power. I can, for the low price of $5,999. One Bugatti.
Disgusting to me. If I met a woman and she said, I just sucked a dick yesterday, I'd say, well, I find you repulsive. I don't want to.
If I met a woman and she said, I just sucked a dick yesterday, and it wasn't mine, I'd be like, why you tell me that? Why did you tell me that right now? I'm like I'm in the fucking line at the DMV. Look, I'm just trying to like register my car, my registrations. I don't need to hear about your like evening. She's like, I just sucked a dick. I was like, whoa, look, dude. Can you just like expedite this for me, please? I'm like, I don't want to be here, and I don't want to hear about like you sucking dicks on your like off time and shit. Good for you, or is it bad for you? Was it like look? I'm not trying to ask more questions on top of this. Just do the paperwork. Tap on the computer. Do the paperwork. All right. And she's like, I'll suck your dick. No, just do the paperwork. Do women actually come out and be like, and say shit like that? I don't think so.
Sleep with you. Goodbye.
What, so you're only going after virgins?
Well, it's not about only going after virgins, but I think if you're a straight man, the idea of having a bunch of men, a woman that you're with, is pretty repulsive.
But everyone has a past.
But see,
When
this
you
is the
put
kind of...
Yeah, that's true. Bonnie Blue has a... it's not a past. It is an almanac of historical facts. It is, it is, you know, the history of time. 1,000 dudes is not a past. 1,000 dudes in one day is not a past. That is a brief history of the universe. There is a complete difference. Come on. What is this guy saying? Everyone's got a past. For real, though? What kind of past is that? Okay, so if a guy went up to a chick and he was all like, yeah, I just fucked this crack whore and I paid her like $50 and, you know, she let me do some terrible things, like literal sins. Would she be like, oh, that's okay, yeah, you know, everyone's got a past? I doubt that. I doubt that a lot. I doubt that so much. I doubt that so much. So, like, if you went up to a guy and then just be like, yo, you know what I did last weekend? I fucked 1,000 men. They'd be like, can you stand far away from me? Can you stand so far away from me? I don't want anything, like, to jump out of you onto me, okay? And, like, burn through my skin like alien saliva. Don't, just go.
People say, I don't know what's wrong with you people. Everyone has a past. That's not acceptable. In fact, let's analyze that. Everyone has a past. You're right. Everyone does have a past. It's true. But isn't the primary objective of a man to find a woman with as little past as possible?
You guys, don't... Why are you doing the stew thing? Why are you doing the stew thing? Renee says the LOL chat has been on fire. Just doing stew puns. Stew puns. Oh, Knobsdog says Encyclopedia Dictanica, which is pretty funny. That's good.
Do you argue that's one of the precursors to finding a wife? Considering that wives were supposed to be virgins. This was the deal. The reason I'm proud of Bonnie, and I am genuinely proud of you, I like Bonnie. I like what she's doing. Because...
oh, there's a lot to unpack there.
The deal was...
Are you not, like, contradicting yourself here?
In what way?
Well, you're proud of her sleeping with 1,057 guys, but women should be virgins.
No, I'm saying the social contract, the construct of society that made family function was women were obedient virgins. And
okay, let me unpack this. You're getting multiple women pregnant, though. And so, yes, there is a social contract for, like, women to be as chaste as possible, like virgins preferably, and then men to, you know, knock up that chick and then marry her and then create a family unit, right? So there's two sides of the family contract here. Bonnie is violating her side of the family contract by letting any old Tom, Dick, and Harry hit it as often as possible and then filming it and it's getting all over the internet. Sure, I think we agree on that point. However, you are also violating that family contract by knocking up as many women as you possibly can and fathering none of them. And just because you're supplying them with a house and stuff like that, which I do hope you're doing that, doesn't mean you're actually sticking to that contract. The fathering part is the important part. It's not necessarily the domicile that's the important part. The actual father, because you're going to raise criminals. You're going to raise people that are fucking little shitheads, jackasses that aren't going to be proper citizens, proper men. So I think you're both fucking up here. And you're what are you trying to explain? She's not holding up her end of the deal, and women in this generation generally aren't. So I'm not going to do the same. Is that what you're saying to me, old Tateski? Old Tate bro?
And they found a man who provided for them, and they listened to that man. Women have then said, we don't like the patriarchy. We're tired of being provided for. We're tired of being taken care of. We don't want to listen to anybody. We want to make our own decisions. That was women and feminism that ended the traditional family unit. And now women can make their own decisions.
Forrest Mommy says, in no way she's even enjoying that sex. No. I mean, like, okay, let's, 1,057. At what point is she like, God, this is uncomfortable? After, okay. You think that the guys are like, how long, what was the average length? Were they nutting quickly? Was it like, let's say 3 minutes, right? Because they're like encouraged, rate of fuck, okay? So let's say 3 minutes, all right? After the 10th dude, 30 minutes of just... It's like a fucking... It's like a guy who makes pizza. He's like slamming dough. After 30 minutes of doing that, that's only 10 guys in. 30 minutes of doing that, you're like, oh my God, this is starting to get like, harsh on my shit. And then, you're going for a record. There's cameras. So the whole world's watching you. Next guy. Next guy. Boom. Boom. I mean, if it was only 3 hits, like 3 strokes a person, that'd be a lot better. But I doubt it's even that. It's probably much longer than that. I'm just saying, at what point do you think she's like, oh, I might have to tap out on this one. I might have to top out of this. And I assume she was making them wear condoms. I would hope to God. And I guarantee you at least a few of those broke. Probably a good number of them. But what did you do with the condoms after that? Did you huck them at the window and watch them race to the bottom? Was there a guy in a hazmat suit with a trash bag? Just, toss it in here. It gets heavy. It gets heavy. I mean, like, for an endurance athlete, that must be like climbing Mount Everest. That's, it's impressive, but you probably should have died doing it.
So I'm glad that Bonnie's making her own decision.
Yeah,
I'm not here to
people
tell you not to do
say
it.
I take women back 100 years. I'm like, no, I'm the clear example of how to be empowered. I use my body. I do what I want, when I want. And this is the thing you've been banging on about for years. And when I get hate, like when I click on the comments of these women that are like, oh, you're taking us back 100 years, then in their bio it says stay-at-home mom of 2. I'm thinking,
Now, Forrest Mommy says, I only like 420 feet of knobs. Oh, she's talking to Knob. So, like, how many feet of cock is that? That's it. I mean, okay, I'm going to have to bring up the calculator. I'm bringing up the calculator. Calculator. All right, let's do some rough back of the envelope kind of. So the average length is 6 inches times how many pumps? Well, you have to double it because it's in and out, so you got to double that. So it would be 12 times 30 pumps. Let's say 30 pumps equals 360 pumps, okay? So 360 pumps per man, or 360 inches per man. And we're going to times that by 1,057. So 380,000 inches. 380,520 inches divided by 12, which is 31,710 feet of cock. So 31,000 feet of cock. So she roughly received about 5 miles of dick. Jesus Christ. There's a 5 miles of dick.
What was you rooting for?
That's
Because
right.
30 pumps was it? What is this? 30, like the in and the out, like the pump. You know, you've had sex before, I assume. You're married.
That's right, Bonnie. See, this is the future.
That's way too high, John. That's way too high. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. So I'm just gonna go ahead and guess. Knobs Dog says 458 feet based on average penis size, but you have to factor in some African dong. So I'm estimating 650 feet of dick multiplied by 3 pumps. 3 pump? 3? A 3 pump dump? Wow. 3 pump? That would be difficult. I'm sticking with my calculations, all right? We're doing average penis size because a lot of those guys were Indians. Sure, there's a few black fellas in there, but like Indians have like a dick like this. So like, it's averaged. It is averaged out. So I'm going to stick with my original calculation of roughly 5 miles worth of dick. So congratulations. You did a 5K of dick.
Yeah.
This is the future. This is fantastic. It's exactly what
Which would only be 3.5 miles, but
Western society's headed to. So why are we going to sit here and pretend this is not? Why are we going to sit here and pretend?
Despite says right, but 30 pumps. What am I, a triathlete? I'm learning a lot about you guys. That's a lot? How is that a lot? That is not a lot. That's not. Let me do some thinking. Yeah, it's got to be roughly around that. I mean, like, there's no way I'm so different from the rest of you. Like, three? Are you a fucking panda bear? Like, no, come on.
Most women who go on girls' holidays are doing something similar to what Bonnie does, just because it's not on camera. Why are we going to sit here and pretend that these...
Catabombo says, I'd say 40 to 50 pumps is probable. Sure, but again, we're working on averages, boys. Averages. It's different because, like, sometimes you just have, like, a nut that wants to come out really badly. And sometimes you're, like, really drunk. And so, like, it kind of levels out. Averages. I'd say 5 miles worth of dick is probably good. So, let's see if I can use an analogy here. You have a 5 mile long rope. And you grab it with your hand, and then you slide down. How's your hand looking after that? Probably like the inside of her vagina. It ain't looking good. It ain't looking too good, and it does not feel great. That's what happened to her. That's what happened to this chick.
These men who walk around with their wives in the pub in England, and they're like, oh, my wife, yeah, everyone has a past. Oh, no, she's done the same shit. What's the difference? Who gives a right? We're either going to care.
Forrest Mommy says, I knew a gay guy that said he would count to 100. Who? Why? Why would you count it out? I mean, don't you, like, you're, like, trying to, I would never count it out. I'm trying to, like, no, I'm not, no. And a gay guy? What's it matter how many, oh, my God. whoa, there's just a lot. There's a lot going on there, FOMO.
That women are judged on their past. And
Knobzock says Arby's Big Montana. But no, my analogy of like the 5 mile long rope and then you grabbing onto it with one hand and then sliding down, to like slow down your speed. That's gotta be pretty close. I mean, even if you lube that hand up, like I'm gonna put a bunch of lube on my hand, it's still gonna get hot. That shit is gonna get hot. I'm surprised she didn't start a fire or something. I don't know.
Innocence and judged on their naivety and judged on these things like it used to be. Or we're going to sit and say it doesn't matter. Everyone has a past. Well, if everyone has a past, everyone has a past. Who gives a? Does it really matter?
So
anymore?
What would you do if it was your daughter, though?
But why are you asking impossible questions?
John Von Blomey says some gay guys go through so much dick they'd probably get bored. Well, yeah, because look, dick is easy to get. Dick, just look at any Tinder girl. Look at any chick on Tinder. She can order dick to her apartment like it's fucking Domino's, right? A guy does not get that same opportunity unless he's like a stunningly handsome man. In which case, good for you, bro. Stay on the Tinder. You're doing, good for you. But unless you are one of those stunningly handsome men, it's going to be. You can't just get pussy like that. It's not the same thing. But if you're gay, you can get all kinds of dick. You all across the spectrum. Anybody, everywhere, all the time. It's no problem. So yeah, they must get bored getting laid all the time. I don't even know though. I don't even. Like, I'd have to think about it, right? Like, if there was, like, thousands of stunningly beautiful women that constantly wanted my wiener, would I get tired of getting laid all the time? No. But, dick has to be different. Because, like, it's in the butt, isn't it? It's in the butt. So that can't be comfortable. It's like, all right? Just imagine that. Imagine doing that like 5 times a day. You enjoy that? Okay. Whoa. You really are sick.
Not an impossible question.
Of course it is.
How?
It can't happen.
Anyway, should we do a sponsor? No, I'm not going to do a sponsor.
But anything can happen.
It's against the laws of physics.
It's not.
If your daughter opened her legs and took 1,000 dicks, it's not impossible.
Of course it is.
What?
Why is
The
it
dicks
impossible?
would enter her, therefore she's taken.
It's literally impossible for my daughter.
What, are you going to be there against your daughter's saying that dick's not entering it?
No, my daughter just wouldn't make that decision.
But why?
Because I still raise her in a household where she is masculinely guided.
Okay, but here's the problem. You're not there. You can't be in, like, multiple households. And, like, are all these bitches under one roof? In which case, they're going to fight. They're going to fight a lot. And then you're not even going to... You're going to be so busy breaking up fights, you're not even going to be able to be a dad properly. I don't know. This is kind of... I don't know if I completely believe this, but we're going to find out, Andrew. We're going to find out when you get a little bit older and your daughter grows up and flowers as a young woman, and then we're going to see her, probably on the internet, and we're going to see if you did a good job. I'm not necessarily saying that you're going to do a bad job no matter what, but, like, Jordan Peterson didn't do a good job, and I think his daughter actually fucked you. So that's not a good job at all. It's not a good job at all.
And she will be guided by me until I hand her over to some other man. However, I believe when women are left to their own devices, they will only ever make stupid decisions.
Was mine a stupid decision?
Hog Dog says, if my wife wants 12 inches and I fucked hard, I'd stick it in 3 times and donkey punch her at Knobs Dog. What are you fucking talking about?
I wouldn't say it's any more stupid than most decisions women make, to be honest with you. I think that...
They did fuck? FOMO says they did. Probably was part of the deal for them all to be famous. Oh, so you think it's like some weird, like, Eyes Wide Shut kind of thing. Where they're all like, all right, You're like swapping daughters and shit. Oh my God. And then Jordan Peterson had some sort of like crisis about it and became addicted to Xannies and stuff like that. No, I think Jordan Peterson's just fucking crazy. I don't think he's like an unintelligent man, but I think he's just crazy. I think he's just crazy, and like he made his daughter crazy. And then him already being famous, they met in certain circles. And then he fucked this fucking monkey right here. He looks like a fucking monkey. Fuck Jordan Peterson's daughter. So, Jordan Peterson, you failed as a father. That's a failure as a father. You're a failure.
Most women, to some degree, are sex workers anyway. Like, let's be honest about it, right? Most women, look at Miami or Dubai. What's your job?
This guy says he's saying he has a 4-inch penis and abuses his wife. Catch up, John. Dude, can you not tell I'm doing different things here? Can you not? I can't read the entire chat and then like think of things to say over here. I'm doing my best. I'm just doing my best.
Oh, I've got a boyfriend. So your job is being a girlfriend. And why does he give you money? Because you give him sex. So most women are sex workers anyway, to be honest.
But isn't that what you said the family unit was?
Well,
okay. Here, okay. Look, dude. You're correct in the way that's saying, like, everybody's a prostitute. Yes, we all sell our bodies in one way or another. So that means every woman's, or like most women are sex workers because they trade sex for like a place to live and like family and stuff. Yeah, I mean, like, if you want to look at it like that way, sure. But I mean, that's not the same as being a sex worker. There's a kind of, there's the delineation between those two things is emotional. It is about a family nuclear unit and getting fucked by everybody. That's the difference between a sex worker and just like a housewife. That is a vast difference, because there's not an emotional relationship with a prostitute. You're not like disappointed. Your prostitute's not raising your kid. Well, she might be, but you understand the difference I'm trying to say here, right? There's a housewife that stays in the home that like raises your kids and like loves you, hopefully, and like, provides a stable living condition so you can go off and achieve your dreams, which helps society build up and grow. And then there's a fucking hooker. They're totally different things. So when you say everyone's a sex worker, most chicks are sex workers, that's not, I mean, I understand what you're saying. It is incorrect, though. It's just incorrect.
Then you're a sex worker with one customer. Which is nice. I guess it's better. It's more efficient.
JD says 3 strikes and I'm out, bruv. God. There's like a lot of, no one's got any fucking stamina in my chat. It's what kind of chat is? Everyone's all like, I'm in it to win it. And if you don't come, that's your problem. Okay, I respect it.
But what about if you're raising children? That's not sex work, is it?
No, that's
what the fuck is John talking about?
All right, so that's
I don't
interesting,
know.
Rob
Shut up,
this,
Knob.
not me.
Shut the fuck
so they're
up.
either virgins, sex workers, or mothers. Are those the 3 categories?
I think you're putting words into my mouth.
I think that's what Rob just said. Those are the 3 categories.
I'm just sat in the middle.
And women have to choose to be one of them.
So is that what you think?
Ardenshire is right here. He says they're all arguing nuance and splitting definition. I can make a nun into a whore with enough arguing. That's exactly what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. He's trying to say, well, all women are whores, right? All women are sex workers and stuff. And I'm like, that's fucking stupid. That's fucking stupid. That is a. I get what you're trying to do, but that's fucking stupid. That's not true. All women use sex to get what they want. That is far truer, right? But that doesn't necessarily mean they're sex workers, right? Like, I have a wife. I give her money regardless. You know, if she doesn't want to have sex with me, I still have to pay for the groceries and like the light bill and stuff. So, you know what I mean? A hooker, if she doesn't want to have sex with me, I don't give her the money. Well, he's making a stupid argument. That's all I'm saying. He's making a fucking stupid argument.
I think that when a woman becomes a mother, she has a purpose. And I think that women should be having children as soon as possible. And I think it gives their life a direction. And I think it's the most important thing to preserve society, especially if you want to talk about geopolitics and talk about race and all of these things. If you want to have a country that looks like the country it used to be, you need to have the original people from there having children. I think all of that is true. Absolutely. I think
that's very interesting because you're a black Muslim in London. Where are you going to go, Mr. Tate? Where are you going to go? I mean, I'm not disagreeing with him on that point. I'm not. He's right. Like, the people from a certain region need to, like, stay there. And, like, he's making a point, but I'm like, look who it's coming from. Where are you going to go, bro?
Every day a woman goes without having kids is primarily a waste of time. But, once again, what does it matter what I think? Rob, I've given up. Rob, I've given up trying to save the world. I've given up. No, Rob. I've given up.
Haven't.
I've given up on misogyny and all this shit.
No, you haven't.
They attacked me with the Matrix. They keep throwing me in jail. I am now all for women empowerment. I think women should run around as many men as they want. I like what Bonnie's doing. She's getting the bag. She's getting rich. Most girls out here don't want to have kids. They just want to get Birkin bags and Instagram likes. Good.
Background noise says sex is a sprint, not a marathon. Okay, well, it depends. It depends on what I feel like doing. If I'm, like, tired, then yeah. Then yeah.
This is the world now. How the world's going to end up, who cares about the future?
See, women go around, use sex to their advantage, but then are happy to cry about it straight away. Saying, oh, he took advantage of me. And it's like, you're the one that wanted to do sex to have, like, the job promotion, or you're the one that wanted to have sex to get more attention or try and be more liked. But then they cry about it. And that's what I get frustrated about. And even with porn stars, like people in my industry, they'll do this for a few years, get the money, get the boob jobs, get the house. And then suddenly they go, oh my God, I was forced into the industry. Oh my God, someone took all my money.
Have you ever considered a job as a lawyer?
That's an interesting point, Bonnie. That's an interesting point. She's also right. If you make the decision to do these things, then you made the decision. You can't go back and be like, oh, I was taking advantage of. I just wish somebody told me the consequences of this. I just wish I didn't have to pay for the things I've done. Well, the situation is already laid out for you. You can't have your cake and you eat it too. You made bad decisions. And you don't get to go around crying victim about it later on. This is a very common thing that happens. So, Bonnie's right. And I hope Bonnie sticks with this same mentality when eventually the piper comes calling for her. Because, yeah, it's nice now with the money and the attention, Bonnie, but before too long, and I mean not long, you are going to be old news, and you're going to be an absolute pariah in any place unless these prostitutes figure out a way to have their own society, which women have never done before, and honestly never will. I shouldn't say never will, but because maybe they'll have like robots do their plumbing and stuff and like fix their cars. But if you want to be a part of like a real society, then it's going to be rough on you. But just remember back to this interview, and then be like, well, I did make those points, and I'm not going to cry about it, even though these are the hard times, and your hard times will last until the end of your life.
Lawyer, because I could do with you. You're 100% right.
Hot Dog says, is Tate a raghead?
Dichotomy of society.
If you mean right? Muslim, yeah, he's a Muslim. He's not an Arab. He's not an Arab. His mom is English and his dad is black. I don't know what kind of black. A lot of people don't understand. There's different kinds of blacks. There's a blacks. Just because you're black doesn't mean you are a slave or even related to slaves. Because there's different kinds of black people, right? There's like The northern blacks, well, they were probably slaves too. But most American blacks came from like the Congo and stuff and like the dark heart of Africa. And those kinds of blacks are different from like, you know, Somalians and stuff. The Somalians weren't really slaves. They were just kind of Somalians. They're pirates now.
100% owns what she does, and she says it's my decision. And I've seen people try and lecture you. I've seen people sit there and try and lecture you and say like, "Oh, I'll be your
Hog Dog says he is click black, not cotton black." Yeah.
Creature of God, and you shouldn't be doing this. That no, you should do whatever you want.
Exactly.
It's up to you to do whatever you want.
Yeah, there's the click blacks, the cotton blacks, the didgeridoo blacks. There's the my queen blacks. You know, those kind of blacks. There's a bunch of different types of blacks. There's pygmy blacks.
I'm not saying anybody tricked you into it. It's your decision. And let's be honest, when they talk about taking women back 100 years, let's actually be very honest here, Rob. No disrespect.
No disrespect.
There's always...
It's the oldest profession.
Ancient Rome had... There's always...
Creole blacks, Appalachian blacks, Kenyan blacks. I don't know what an Appalachian black is, though. But there are Creole blacks. But those kind of blacks are modern American blacks. I'm talking about from, like, Africa, like the original... the black tribes, you know, like the Zulus, like the Hutus and the Tutsis and stuff like that. If you're good, you can actually look at somebody and be like, oh, you're from this region of Africa. Your nose is like this and not like this or something like that. They do look different. There's some that come from like more northern that like kind of look Egyptian. And those are usually more trustworthy blacks. But anything below, like sub-Saharan, those are the violent ones. So, yeah.
The Aztecs had... You think there weren't concubines in the fucking Ming Dynasty sucking little Chinese pee-pee? Of course there were. There's...
Yeah. Yeah, what's your point?
Always been. It's the oldest profession in the world.
Exactly.
So do you think it's a legitimate job?
Well, I mean, no, check her bank. I'm sure she's making loads of money.
That's true. What is a legitimate job? If you're making a shit ton of money, then there you go. You have a job. That's a good job.
So here's where do you draw the line? If we're going to live in this false dichotomy, because the world was very simple once, not too long ago. And men had this terrible misogynistic view, which I, of course, don't agree with, that women can't make their own decisions because they're naturally chaotic. And when women...
But they are.
Women decide anything like
They are.
In fact,
And look. I'm not saying women can't make their own decisions. They're just not usually very good at it. They're just not very good at it. Usually. Not always, but like usually they're not very good at it.
these men, and they're disgusting...
Call me a misogynist and all that, and all, yeah, it'd be like, but like, look at Bonnie here. Look at Bonnie here. Right here. You think she's made the best decisions in the world? No. And you could be like, John, that's just one girl. A lot of guys make bad decisions. And I'd be like, yeah, sure, that's absolutely true. Yes, sure. But like, Bonnie ain't the only one. And there's a lot of porn stars out there. There's a lot of single moms. I'm just saying. You know, maybe the old times they had a couple things right. I hate this entire thing where it's like automatically just because something happened before 1850, it must be backwards and wrong. Just because they had certain ideas that are like over 200 years old, they must be backwards and wrong. You know what else is over 200 years old? The Constitution. And that shit has held up. You know, I'm just saying, sometimes there's a reason these prejudices, these stereotypes exist, and they were used to hold society together and be as efficient as possible. You know, just because something's old doesn't mean it was inherently wrong.
No, these men in their disgusting misogyny believed if you gave women the vote, we'd end up with open borders and drag queen story hours. So they didn't give women the vote.
Okie dokie. Oh. Oh boy. I'm not saying that just because women vote that we have open borders and drag queen story hour. I'm not equivocating the two. I'm not saying one is the predecessor to the other. But if we didn't have it, we wouldn't have those things. So, if women couldn't vote, none of that shit would have been a problem. I mean, just let's be super duper real about this. There wouldn't be open borders unless the country was conquered. But maybe it was. I don't know. That's a very good point. He's right about, yeah, damn.
Then they did vote, and society.
John Von Blomey says, not wrong. It's not. Forrest Blomey says, and no birth control either. That made women liberal. Oh, yes, it did. That birth control has so many negative side effects, not just on society, but on female biology, that I could talk for hours about that. And not only that, it doesn't completely get absorbed by the female body, so they pee it out and it goes into the drinking water, and it feminizes everybody. Everybody. So this is probably why everyone's got like very low testosterone and stuff. And yeah, there's also like mate choice that gets messed with when your body thinks you're pregnant, because that's what taking birth control does. It makes your body think you're pregnant, and so it makes your mind, because women's minds are they're instinctual, right? They have certain hormones that affect them that don't. Hormones affect male minds too, but we just don't have the hormones that females have, or in the same concentrations. So when these hormones affect the female mind, they don't look for somebody they're actually attracted to. They look for somebody who is safe and that won't leave. And the moment that women stop taking birth control, say to have a baby, they find out that they're not attracted to their husband or their boyfriend, and either go cheat or just straight up leave them. This happens a lot. This is a very common thing. You shouldn't take birth control.
Particular direction. But when men were in charge of things, women didn't have to worry about what they can do with their life, because
Hog Dog says that HPV vaccine fucks up gals too. Yeah. And now they're giving it to boys. Why are they giving it to boys?
Their father took care of it, and then their husband took care of it. But now we live in a brand new world where women can make all of their own decisions. And the path she's chosen, I don't think is any different than most paths women take. I think she's just more honest about it and more upfront about it. If you're going to go to Dubai and meet a girlfriend, and you think she hasn't been for money the entire time she was living in Dubai, then you're an idiot. If you're in Miami and you go...
Is that what happens in Dubai? Like, without question? Is that what happens? Like, if you meet a girl in Dubai, does she fuck for money? Like, and that's just the end of it? This is a legitimate question. I don't know. I've been to Dubai. Me and Jess went there on our honeymoon. Is that what happens to chicks in Dubai? I would believe it. I believe it. But I thought they were Muslims. But that doesn't mean shit.
Girls in their boat, and you think they're not for money all of the time. Now, they may not say per hour, but they'll be a guy they barely like to get their rent paid, or they're a guy they barely like because he has a car.
Yeah.
So women are for money all the time anyway. That's all women do now. The entire Western world is women for money. So
look, again, you're splitting hairs. All right? You are absolutely splitting hairs. A woman is not going to be attracted to a homeless guy. Right? Unless he's a devilishly good-looking homeless guy. Forest Mommy, would you have sex with a homeless guy if he was super good looking? Thought? Are you still here? Can you answer the same question? I don't think that's the case. I don't think women like fucking homeless guys. Regardless of how they look, I don't think women. So this is just part of their nature. This is just part of their mentality. It's not necessarily that they're being whores per se. It's that they just don't like fucking homeless guys.
How hypocritical would it be for me to sit here and say, Bonnie, who is honest, who monetizes it directly with her own media empire, who's upfront about it and makes money from it, is a worse person than the girl who walks around like she's goody two-shoes and then sucks in a Magaluf toilet? Because that's what most girls are doing anyway. Mm-hmm. Rob, they're all like this. Rob, they're all the same.
Are you trying to say I'm not special now?
No, I'm saying you're special, actually, because you've gone so far through. You've come out...
No. Sure. Most girls... Look, I get your point about, like... Most girls like men with money. That doesn't mean they're necessarily directly fucking guys for money, but Bonnie Blue is fucking many, many men, and she's doing it directly for money. I feel like there's a difference. Social Observer with a tenor, thank you so much, and he's got a link for me. What are we doing here, boys in FOMO? Are we playing take clips? Let's see. I don't know. What do you got for me? Okay, all right, sure. We're just jumping around. We were doing bear stuff before, but now...
Nick, listen to me. I may be only half black, but I'm black enough to call you a fucking cracker. All right? I'm half savage. I'm half fucking Haitian migrant. I'm coming to crack open your skull.
Collect the gold.
You white people are so smart, you build all these civilizations, but you're not smart enough to keep us out.
Okay, okay.
Okay. I hope you're being savage, Nick. I hope you're saying something super savage and racist.
Yeah, your show is hilarious.
Fucking white boy cracker ass.
Pass me the ashtray.
Be racist to me, damn it, Nick. Don't let people like me into your country. I'm a fucking human trafficker. He does say super funny.
He does. I mean, he does do that though.
Who gets upset? Oh my God, he's upset about blacks. Who cares? I say loads of shit about whites. I say whites are too afraid to fuck and can't protect their civilization.
To be fair, Nick said the same thing on his podcast.
Let all the blacks in.
Nick said exactly the same thing on his podcast.
Build this amazing civilization and let us invade it, and then go, oh my God, the invaders. Duh.
The guy up there.
Duh.
Okay. All right. Didn't Nick Fuentes... Didn't Nick Fuentes get his account banned? Didn't he get his account banned? All right, I'm watching more of this, though. I'm watching more of this.
But didn't you say this kind of thing is the demise of Western society?
I mean, if I was a misogynist, I would believe this is the final end result of feminism, and the end times are here, and that nobody's going to have...
Here's the thing about biracial people, mulatto people. They kind of they have a high incidence of schizophrenia and, like, psychotic disorders. Is that what's going on with... Mr. Tate here? I don't know. It doesn't seem like that. It seems like he's relatively with us. He's not like looking at things going around and stuff, but I could be wrong.
Kids anymore, and that the idea of a beautiful marriage between a man and a woman is now completely gone. I mean, if I was a disgusting misogynist, but since they keep raising...
But you don't have one beautiful marriage, do you?
No, I don't.
See, there you go. There you go. There you go. You're just as much as a problem. You're just as much as a problem as she is. She and you are two sides of the same coin. You're both garbage people. You're both garbage humans. And you're over here spouting like, oh, people should start beautiful families and stuff like that and build societies over here. And she's all like, women deserve the right to use their bodies as they see fit. And look, you are both right to a certain degree. to a very certain degree, but the way you go about it, the way you play about it, is completely incorrect. You're both trash. You're both complete trash. You're not walking the walk, and she is, I mean, probably running the walk. She's taking it way too far. Right? Bitch, there's a happy medium. What you're doing is more destructive than what he's doing, in my opinion. They're both doing a lot of destruction. They both are.
No, I don't.
Have you slept with 1,057 women?
At least.
So are you quite similar?
Absolutely not.
Why not?
Because it's the male's prerogative to impregnate as many females as possible. This is the masculine prerogative. This is biologically my prerogative is to do that.
I think we should do a breeding competition.
Okay, so you can't do that because once you get pregnant once, that it's over. And he can knock up like 1,000 women. That's not going to be a problem for him. So, yeah. He's going to win. He's going to win 1,000,000 times. Shut up, Bonnie. Shut the fuck up, Bonnie. Social Observer, another 10. Thank you so much. Here's the latest Tate versus Fuentes debate. I lost interest halfway through, but you, F-slurs, might like it. Okay, maybe we will. I'll give it a shot. You gave $10. I'll give it a shot. Why not?
Welcome. Precedes the cultural standards, precedes these dominant narratives in the education system from academia. And so I'm really a believer.
Who is this guy? Who is this guy right here? Myron Gaines? I'm not exactly familiar with him.
Not in as much saying, oh, white people in general need to have more kids. Certainly that's a good thing. But it's more like I want the most brilliant, elite human capital, the smartest, richest, best white people to become as powerful as possible, take over the institutions, and from the institutions promulgate a message of fertility, racial solidarity, national solidarity, and national consciousness. That's kind of where I'm at. And I don't think you'd even disagree, but it's just kind of like going a little step further on that.
No, I agree with you, actually, completely. And culture is the driving force behind all things. You know, I often comment on white people, black people. I'm in a unique position because I am a race mixed individual, which pisses off a large percentage of the internet. But this is how I was born, and that's how it goes, and there's not much I can do about it. But I would argue, besides yourself, there's probably no one else with a platform as large as mine who speaks up for white people ever. And one of the problems with extreme right-wing white people is we have this infinitely divisible, constantly searching for more and more base to the point where no matter how much you do for them or try to help them, you're going to eventually not be based enough for them. And this is seen amongst white people in general. If we removed all the black people from Western civilization today, within 30 years, the Germans would be fighting the Italians again. I mean, that's what happened. Only 30 or 40 years ago, the Irish and English were blowing each other up. And now Ireland and England's both full of asylum seekers from the boats. It's kind of crazy when you...
So what's your point? What is exactly... So are you saying since there's always going to be like division and there's always going to be like territory wars and stuff like that, that white people inherently don't deserve to have their own countries? Is that what you're actually saying? Because they're... So you're saying that like black people didn't do that. Black people and Haitians or whatever never did anything like that, and they lived in perfect harmony in some sort of weird Wakanda before that. Is that what you're saying? What the fuck are you saying? Who gives it? Yes, there's going to be tiffs and wars and shit like that, because that's the nature of history. That's how humans operate. We're always going to be at one war or another. We're always going to have disagreements, and disagreements so bad to sometimes where it comes to violence. So what is your point? What is your point? In 30 years, if all the black people got rounded up and sent back to Africa or something like that, that society would collapse because the Germans would be at war with the Italians again? which hasn't always been the case. I don't know if you know about World War II or not, but like, what's your point? Maybe he's going to say, what is your point?
Think about it. So this infinitely divisible, this constant search for the more and more based version, I actually think in some ways subverts the whole movement. The movement you've launched is so fantastic. The cultural effect you've had is also fantastic. But the biggest threat to the movement is not going to be external. It's going to be internal. And there's a percentage of people, no matter what I say, in defense of you, in defense of white people, in defense of Western civilization, come along and say, because my dad is black, who was a chess genius, by the way, is the only reason I'm even smart, that I'm a piece of shit and I need to be kicked out or I need to die or whatever. And I don't care because, truthfully, I think it's hilarious. But when you have these cartoon anon accounts constantly going to a deeper and deeper level of everyone's a Jew, everything is this, everything is that, and they can't even get along with somebody who is clearly on their side in the larger fight, this is how you're going to end up losing the fight in the long run. And I think that's where some of the...
Well, I mean, he could have a point. I mean, infighting is always going to be a matter. It's a factor. Look, we're coming to a point in history where we constantly hear about everybody else's opinion. We're always listening to... You're doing it right now. You're listening to my opinion right now. But we're always hearing small little micro communities and their take on things, and some of them are fervent believers. And then in this, I mean, this is the same thing that happened in religion, right? How many different branches of Christianity are there? There's the Catholicism, there's the Christian Orthodox, there's the Protestants, there's the Lutherans, the Mormons, the Jehovah's Witnesses. There are always going to be disagreements, right? There's always going to be disagreements. And yeah, infighting is probably... What do you expect to do with that? What do you expect? Is it the greatest weakness that we have? No. I don't think it's the greatest weakness. The greatest weakness currently infecting the Western world is the fact that it's seen as not legitimate. It's seen as not viable. It can't exist without tons of migrants, tons of immigrants. Meanwhile, it's being poisoned on the inside from the people in control. And it's yes, if everything came perfectly out and the West were to rise again to its true former glory, then yeah, infighting would eventually be a problem at some point in time, as it always will be in the future. This is pretty much a fact. It's going to be a fact. The French and the English fucking hate each other, right? And they still do. The Irish and the English hate each other. A lot of people hate the English. But that doesn't mean they don't have a common goal. And it doesn't mean they're not being plagued by common threats. So what is the... I don't think that's the main problem. I don't think that's the main problem. That's all I'm saying. I guess we'll watch more of it.
Which again is not even your fault. But that's the problem with that movement as a whole. And I'm gonna...
O'Neill says the whites' greatest weakness is its extreme lack of racism compared to other races. Well, I mean, yeah, you're absolutely right. And it's not like there aren't extremely racist whites. There are. There's plenty of extremely racist white people. And I'm not saying that's wrong, because there's lots of extremely racist black people, Hindus, Arabs, Jews, anybody with any sort of family interest, like an in-group preference, should be racist. Just the fact that you want your family to survive makes you a sort of racist, right? I want my kids to grow up and like have kids of their own and be safe and like have, a good life. And in a way that makes me a racist, focused on my own people. That is what racism is. It is just the extrapolation of your family and your tiny community being able to live and propagate. Everybody should be racist to a certain degree. I think if we all accepted that instead of, hey, let's all not be racist. We shouldn't be racist, guys. Hey, let's not be racist. I think we should all be as racist as possible. Right? Because we've tried not being racist. We've tried not being racist for 100 years by this point. Like a long, long time. I'm not saying, well, like, when was desegregation? It was a while ago. So maybe not quite 100 years. But my entire generation, the entire generation before me and before them, so all the way back to the boomers, we've tried not being racist. We've tried extensively, and it's been beaten into us over and over. And clearly our cities are dying. They're suffering. Everyone's doing the fent bent. You know, the crime is skyrocketing. People are getting killed and raped on the streets and stuff like that. Maybe we should just flip the script a little bit. You ever think that, you know, since everybody else gets to be racist, maybe the people who built the city get to be racist? The Japanese had it fucking nailed. The Japanese knew from right away. They got no problem dropping N-bombs left and right. They hate everyone who's not Japanese. And they have every right to do so. Every right. And it's not just against blacks or like Muslims or something like that. They hate white people too. Ooh, they do. They sure do. Maybe not as much as some other people, but trust me, they hate white people plenty. Now, am I saying that they shouldn't be allowed to hate white people? No! Why would I ever say that? They built a wonderful society, a beautiful kind of like thing, and they want to keep it Japanese. There's nothing at all wrong with that. But for some reason, people are trying to shove diversity. Oh, the Japanese aren't having enough babies. We better pack in some fucking Muslims, put some fucking black people in there. That'll make it a lot better. That'll make it so nice. Oh, the Japanese are getting too old. Better pack in 1 million Muslims than turn Tokyo into a fucking, I don't know, just a big pile of trash. I think we should all be racist. Let's just gear up and we all agree. We can shake hands if we want or not because, ew, I don't want to touch you. Let's just do that. And then we all go to our separate areas because the planet's big enough. Don't give me that overpopulation shit. The only place overpopulated is probably India. Maybe parts of Africa. But Africa's plenty big too. You don't need to send a bunch of black people to fucking Ireland. Right? Africa is huge. You don't need to send 1 million black people to Ireland as refugees for some fucking stupid reason. Africa's huge. And we all know what this is. This is intentional. This is an intentional poisoning of society. This is a weakening of society from the inside out. It is a slow, methodical process. And before they could do this, they had to make sure we're not racist. Make sure we accepted the other, you know. It's a bad idea. It was a bad idea. I say we just all go back.
I'm going to say one thing from a personal perspective. I do feel like there is a degree of ungratefulness. Once again, this is...
Okama69 says Japanese are a master race. All other are animals to them. Fair. Absolutely fair. The achievements that they've accomplished, I would say that's 100% fair. And I don't have a problem never being allowed into Japan. I am okay with that. I think the Japanese deserve to keep their homeland. And I think they deserve to keep it Japanese only. You know, I think you're white, Okama, but I know you're like married to a Japanese lady, but you know what I mean, right? That's fine. That's fine. They shouldn't get overrun with like fucking Middle Easterners and Africans, all right? If they are lowering their population drastically, which is a problem, honestly, they do have a very high, they live a long time. They live a long time, and there's not enough people to replace the workforce and take care of all the people that are old. So these are problems, but let them work it out. Don't be like, oh, this is a huge problem. We better introduce millions and millions of people that have no idea about the culture, no idea about, the science or the technology or again, the culture, right? They don't have the same IQ capable of running the companies that have been started. Like, try filling up Taiwan's chip manufacturing factories with just Africans and be like, yeah, that'll work. It's not going to work. It's not going to work, dude. They don't understand the technical things that go into producing that many chips. What is that place called? TCSM? They make most of the world's microchips. But flooding a bunch of people that don't know shit and have an IQ of 80 into a country that is not going to work. I feel like I'm saying very obvious things. And then Japan is extremely clean. And like Africa is fucking filthy. So they're not going to appreciate a bunch of Africans moving in. Japanese people do not like Africans. They don't.
It's not your fault. There's no gratefulness amongst people.
TSMC, there you go.
Internet. I remind the internet.
They were my client for 10 years. Oh, that's cool.
On October 8th, against all legal advice, I told Piers Morgan.
Okama says, I've poisoned the Japanese race with my seed, LOL. I mean, look, at least... I have to be very careful about what I'm about to say. Okay. The Asians and the whites are more closely related than like the Asians and the blacks or the whites and the blacks. I feel like at least the whites and the Asians both have societies built and have a certain level of IQ capable of running a proper society. Whereas like the blacks and like the South Americans and stuff like that don't really have that same ability. So it's not the worst thing. I mean, like, I don't care if like white people interbred with like Japanese people. I don't care about that very much. I think the Japanese will have a bigger problem with that than I would. You know what I mean? Because I don't see that as like a net negative, but they probably would. Okay, they believe white people are fucking cavemen and stuff like that, and that is a perfectly fine belief to have. I am not knocking them at all for that. I like the Japanese. They're very. Every Japanese person I've ever met has been super duper polite.
Morgan, it was a genocide. I stuck up and was anti-Israel on Piers Morgan on October 8th, before it was cool on the internet, very much like you. Now everybody does it. You did it before it was cool.
Onia says a lowering population isn't a bad thing either. Lower population equals everything is cheaper. The population decline isn't a massive fall off. It's a very slow decline and will market will easily self-adjust. Yeah, okay. That's a very reasonable way of looking at it. Yeah, so population declines aren't necessarily bad. It's just they can be a little bit uncomfortable when you have unfunded liabilities supporting older generations like Social Security and stuff like that. Social Security in the United States is a $1 trillion bill. I mean, it is a massive liability for anybody who's not a boomer, essentially, because anybody under the age of boomers is not going to get any Social Security. Typically, in the past, before Social Security was a thing, just the elderly would live at the home with the kids until they died, right? But now they get checks in the mail from us because we have to take part of our paycheck and actually send it to the elderly because they voted and they said they wanted that. And we didn't get a say. We didn't get a say in that. So it causes this weird dynamic. It causes this weird dynamic in social groups. Because you would have this thing before where you would take care of your children until you got old. And you would be nice to your children. You'd love your children and do your best to make sure they had a better life than you did. You know, that whole trope. But now, old people, boomers and stuff particularly, they have Social Security to rely upon. Not only that, the house that they bought for like $100,000 is now worth like $1.5 million. So they don't necessarily have to be nice to their kids. They don't have to live with their kids when they get too old. They can just pay for that with our money. Because they told the government, they voted that, yeah, they want a piece of our check when they get too old to work. Before we were born. And not doing any math, not being like, hey, is this a Ponzi scheme? Because it is. It's an absolute Ponzi scheme. And the boomers got in early enough where they are going to be the only ones to profit from it. And we're going to get it taken out of our checks until we die, but we're not going to get a dime of it, and neither are our kids. So it's just going to make it harder on us for making their lives easier. It disrupts the entire social mechanic. And now we don't have grandparents in the house teaching grandchildren cultural things, right? Like social things, things about the history of the country that they're in. You know, they're not instilling the pride that they should be instilling on their grandchild's generation. And so it's just blowing everything up. It's just, Social Security is a gigantic problem. And we should have gotten, it should never have passed. But when you vote for free money, you know, when you have a vote for free money, people love free money. You mean I'm not going to have to save for retirement? I'm just going to get free money when I turn a certain age? Hell yeah. Yes. Yeah. And then they fucking like, they're like, well, I paid into it. I deserve it. No, you don't. No, you don't. Because I paid into it and I'm going to get nothing. You didn't pay into shit. It's not like you pay them and then they put in a little piggy bank and then save it. Like, this is for John Johansson, right? And they say, we just mark it off and nobody spend this. No, the instant it goes into the system, it gets spent by people already receiving Social Security, and it gets spent by politicians just on whatever they feel like. Just buying whatever the fuck they feel like. And so, no, just because you paid into it doesn't mean you get anything. And I really, really hope, and I really, really wish that we just got rid of it completely tomorrow. The sooner the better. The sooner the better. And yeah, a lot of boomers are going to be like, well, we didn't save enough for retirement. Well, be nicer to your fucking kids then. Be nicer to your fucking kids. And it's not like you haven't enjoyed the rise in asset prices over the last 30 years. So let's be fair. You're not exactly struggling. But if you don't have any of that, be nice to your fucking kids. There's this, there's this whole mentality. There's this whole fucking mentality where boomers are like, oh, I just worked harder. I'm just smarter. We're just hardworking. You're just lazy and stupid. And they can say that. They can say that because they have free money coming in and asset prices like their fucking house that they bought for 3 strawberries and a fucking blowjob is worth $1.5 million, right? So they're not going to suffer at all, right? But if that shit disappeared, not so smart, not so hardworking. Oh, and I think it would change a lot for the better. A lot for the better. Honestly.
I did it before I was cool. Anti-Semitism is a crime in Europe. They put me back on house arrest. I was locked in my house for 11 months because of what I...
Social Observer says socialism security. Exactly. Exactly. JD says it's a thin line. It's the thin end of the wedge.
On a podcast, and now they turn up and tweet underneath that I'm a Jew. And I just think if that's how...
I don't think he's Jewish.
How we're going to operate as a movement... We're
The money system is a fraud. Yep. Knobstock says, my mom is a great example of a grandparent that's a part of her grandkid's life. That's fantastic. They see her almost every day. My mother-in-law would go months without seeing them, even though they live 9 miles away. Yeah, so this is another thing. Justice parents are fantastic because they visit our kids like every weekend for sure, but like almost every day they can, they visit the kids. My parents don't even call us. This is just some boomers are going to be like this. Some boomers aren't. It is what it is. But yeah, there has been that social breakdown. You know, that passed on knowledge that our kids will not necessarily get. Like, because the grandparents don't have to live with the kids. No, they can live in their big houses and get their free checks from the younger generation. And then they're like, they hate socialism, but only when it's not for them.
The laughing stock to our enemies. And I agree with you about the locus of power. You're completely correct. And I think it's a multifaceted attack. But we have to be very careful here because if I owned a farm and all the sheep worked out that I had a slaughter.
Onius complained that my family just moved here, so we won't get it, so we deserve it too, and it's up to the people who are born here to pay for my foreign ass. I'm sorry, I didn't exactly... Oh, I'm sorry. There was more. The original idea of Social Security was a fine idea, but that idea was just that a part of your taxes was put aside for you and your lineage. That money was just for you and your lineage, but people complain that my family just moved here, so we won't get it, so we deserve it too, and it's up to people who were born here to pay for my foreign ass. Yeah. See, the entire system was set up as a Ponzi scheme. It was never intended for my family and my limit. If it was, you could just put it in your own fucking bank account. They would just be like, that doesn't involve the government whatsoever. Put it in your own fucking bank account. It was never meant to be on the level. It was, from the start, an absolute Ponzi scheme. Anyways, guys, thank you so much, because that is our time. And I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I hope you listened to me rant. And I covered a lot of topics. I covered a lot of subjects, and we went on a little adventure, a little tour. But that's what the Sulk stream is. That's what it gets you. If you could hit the like button for me, I would surely appreciate it. If you're not subscribed, please hit the follow button and subscribe. If you're on YouTube, subscribe to me there. You know what to do. Follow me. Hey, if you're on Twitter, like and retweet. All those things. Thank you so much for the donations, guys. I really appreciate that. And I'll be back tomorrow at the same place, at the same time, doing the same thing. And who knows where we're going to go then. But I hope you guys are here. Anyways, guys, I hope you have a fantastic evening. Be strong, be valiant, be good to each other, drink a lot of water, and get a good night's sleep. And take care of yourselves, because I care about you too. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Love you. Good night.
I'm an incredible soul, unhinged and enraged like a bulldog's fierce growl. I'm spitting fire, burning through these trees, questioning the world, unraveling conspiracies. Talking about Bigfoot, yes, monster too. Government lies, they're feeding me their goo. I'm diving deep into this rabbit hole, uncovering the truth. feeling the madness with every word I spoke.